joining us tonight. This is Maggie from Pro Travel Network, and today we have Tracey from NCL. She is our new BDM. Basically, she's just going to go over some details in regards to NCL with you guys and also introduce herself. So everybody welcome her. Everybody will be muted. The Q&A will be at the end, like as always, and the session is being recorded. Go ahead, Tracey.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Terrific. Welcome, everybody. Mo Adams sends her best, as do Liz and Nathan in the headquarter offices. And I'm really excited about working with Pro Travel. I've heard the name through the years, and so I'm very excited about joining the team and being your business development manager. I'm just going to keep this brief today. There's 3 talking points that Norwegian has been discussing lately. One of them is our brand new ship, the Norwegian Joy, that will be joining the Norwegian Bliss in Alaska and on the Mexican Riviera, as well as the coastals. So I'm going to show you a little bit of those ships. The second is our Free at Sea program, and they just announced about a week ago another amenity option and a little bit of change. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about that, why you should sell Free at Sea, the value add, etc. And then last, I'll just talk. I thought if you had a moment, I'll show you very quickly in Norwegian Central. There's just a couple little things that I use every single day, and so I wanted to show those to you as well, and so you know where to find those. And just if I've been in the industry for quite some time. I spent almost 20 years with Royal Caribbean, took a little hiatus from 2010 until 2 years ago when I started working with Norwegian. And the change that I immediately saw was the Norwegian Cruise Line family. So Oceania and Region 7 Seas are our sister companies. And another change that I have seen, my big joke is that I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop, because the moment I stepped on the Escape in the Caribbean was the first ship that I saw, and that was 2 years ago, and I was just blown away by the difference. Now, needless to say, I hadn't been on a ship, a Norwegian ship, and I hear this every day in my territory. We haven't seen a Norwegian ship since the Norway or the Sunward, and it's no longer a mass market brand, and I'll show you a little bit of that in my slideshow. We're traded on the New York Stock Exchange, and these changes started to come into place when Frank Del Rio joined, the company. Andy Stewart is our chairman. He's been with the company for 30 years. He started on board ship and is the person who came up with freestyle cruising, actually. So I just want you to know that we're growing. We're a good company to sell. I appreciate your support. And if you are ever traveling on vacation and you're in Hawaii, or you're in the Florida area, or you're in Europe or on the West Coast, one thing I want you to know is, as long as you can give me a couple weeks notice, I would appreciate 2 or 3. And if you're somewhere where we have a ship in port and you're going to be there, I can make arrangements for you to come on board, to see the ship, to have some lunch, do a little eavesdropping. It does not have to be we do have a series of ship tours and inaugurals and so forth, but I do want you to keep that in mind. If you haven't seen one of our ships or sailed on one of our ships or haven't gotten feedback from guests who have been on our ships, I just wanted you to keep that in mind. That is always an option, and it used to be, and they took it away from us after 9/11, and so it's since come back. Well, the Norwegian Bliss, we talked about this ship for 2 years, and then she arrived last year, and you guys have been doing an amazing job of booking her. Her sales are looking well, their wear is projected. So her sister ship, Mr. Del Rio, decided when our contract was finished in China, he decided to give the West Coast another ship in Alaska. So we're going to have 2 ships in Alaska and Mexican Riviera and doing the coastals. The tonnage is 4,000 passengers, and they are stunningly beautiful vessels. The Joy was built for the Chinese market, and so what we're doing is before she arrives in Seattle this spring, we're spending about $50 million. She's going to be in a 3-week wet dock. And as Nathan says, we're going to blissify her so that she will be pristine and ready for the Alaska marketplace in the spring of next year. The Bliss still sails round trip from Seattle every Saturday. The Joy will do the same thing. The difference is the Bliss calls on Glacier Bay for every itinerary, whereas the Norwegian Joy includes Glacier Bay for 4 out of all of the Alaskan itineraries. So when she's not doing Glacier Bay, she's doing Icy Strait. And so that's just something I wanted to mention. There's a few hardware differences between the 2 ships, but the similarities are greater than the differences. They both have the racetrack, the ocean loops, the kids' aqua park, the laser tag. This racetrack is crazy. If you're watching somebody on it, you cannot hear. It's a humming noise, sort of. It's when you're in that race car and you're on the track and you've got the helmet on that you actually hear the screeching of the brakes and the engine roaring. And it's not a go-kart. It is a 35-mile-an-hour race car, and we've had a lot of fun with that. The public spaces, this is also true for our ship in the Caribbean marketplace. The La Cucina restaurant, our steakhouse, Cagney's. Teppanyaki is not on here. That's the Benihana style restaurant. La Bistro, Ocean Blue. So these are some of the waterfront restaurants that are an additional fee. And we also have almost as many restaurants on these larger ships than we do, I don't want it to go that fast, as we do. We have other options besides additional fee. For instance, Taste is one of those, and it's just if people don't want to go to the main restaurant, they can go to Margaritaville up top deck or Taste. We have a lot of different choices and options as well. These are some pictures of the Haven, and this is just basically a ship within a ship. I would never leave. She has her own restaurant, guest services. This is the courtyard, actually, on the Norwegian Bliss. This is I'm going to go back because this is such a popular place. The observation lounge I wanted you to see, and now I've lost it completely. Hang on one sec. So the observation lounge is on the entire ship, and it is the slide after this one So the Haven has its own observation lounge, this view right here. So that also goes down to the rest of the ship. This is the sun deck for the Haven guests. Again, they have their own gym, their own spa, their own. They're the first to board the ship. They're the last to get off. They're the first to get off the ship in each port. And for shows, you're escorted down the service elevator to get into the showroom. Your guests have first choice of the seating. So we escort everybody down. There's a concierge, a guest services. It's an all-suite enclave, and each suite has a personal butler. These are just some of the different categories that we offer in the Haven. Is the concierge, which I suggest. And the Norwegian Joy actually has a family cabin that sleeps 6. That's an interior cabin and has sort of a faux window, if you will. It's sort of an LCD projector, and it shows the ocean. This American diner is on the Norwegian Joy, very similar to the garden on the Norwegian Bliss. Galaxy Pavilion, this is sort of a simulation, it's a like you would see in Disney World, or earthquake simulated ride. It's amazing, and this is in the kids area where the video games and all of those are. There's also an F1 simulator, which is not on the Bliss. So these are some things in the Galaxy Pavilion on the Joy that are not on the Bliss. The Bliss, we've got the laser tag, and on the Joy, we've got the dark ride and the F1 airplane and the car simulator. So that's my spiel on the Norwegian Joy and the Norwegian Bliss. And as I said, we really touted the Bliss for a long time, and then she arrived, and you had plenty of notice to know that she was coming and have been doing a great job filling her. The Joy, we only made this announcement about 4 months ago. So when you look at the rates in Alaska, most likely your price points, your group availability as of today, you're going to see that the Joy's price points are a little bit lower than the Norwegian Bliss. And I can show you that before I hang up. I just wanted to show you something in Norwegian Central, which is called the Sales Pal. The only reason we've got 6 ships in Europe, the reason I mentioned the Pearl is because this is a ship that was in Europe, and she's now on her way to do the European departures, and no one seems to. Because again, it's sort of a last minute announcement. It's a great sort of unknown that I want you to be aware of. As you know, right now is when Europe begins to fill for next year, and we already have some group space on the very popular European departures that is closed or it's filling up. The Pearl still has very good availability and some excellent rates, and I'll show you where to find her in the itinerary guides. Our Free at Sea, this is a promotion that we started a couple years ago, and we wanted to see how it did. And this is basically, I would never sell anything but Free at Sea. It's much easier for me to say than it is from where you're sitting, but our national accounts director always says, I'll start my clients at a balcony and promote Free at Sea because, that's where the higher commissions are going to come in. So this was sort of a test, if you will, and we have been doing Free at Sea now for 2 years, and we have since actually enhanced it, and I just received a flyer today, and I didn't have time to add it to the slide, so I'm going to show it to you. So instead of 5 free offers, we now have 6, and these are the 5 free, the amenity choices. The 6th one is our free air, which you've probably seen us advertise. And it has become now another free at sea option. Also, I should mention that Hawaii, because of Hawaiian laws, we never could offer the free at sea program for the Hawaii Pride of America was always a little bit different than every other ship in our fleet. Well, we've now actually been able to negotiate with Hawaii, and we now do have an unlimited beverage package. We can't say alcohol. We're probably not supposed to say open bar, but it is now an amenity choice for the Pride of America in Hawaii. And that's kind of a big deal for us. So, and hopefully for your guests as well, because it's a popular amenity choice. We are, as I said, we're growing the, as you can see, the Bliss, which arrived last year with 4,000 berths. The Joy is slightly smaller with 3,900 beds. The Norwegian Encore, she's going to be christened in November of next year. And then beginning in 22, we're not going bigger. We're actually going to go a little bit smaller with what we call the Leonardo class. So we have plans of growing from 22 to 27 at this time. And again, that's more commission in your pockets. So what I wanted to show you on my screen is a couple of things. Well, first of all, let me show you the free at sea flyer that I received today. And it's right here. And the reason I wanted you to see this is to see the enhancement that we've made here. So let's see, I think, oh, here we go. My apologies. There's the top there. So the free at sea, this is effective as of December 1, is now offering 6 choices, free unlimited fleet-wide, and that's why it says unlimited open bar and free airfare. So instead of the Pride standing alone, it now is available for free at sea if your guests choose the unlimited open bar. The 6 free offers, we've also changed this around a little bit. So it used to be if your guests booked in a studio or inside, they would have a choice of 1 free offer. That has not changed. The change here is that ocean view, balcony, and mini suites, they can get 3 now amenity choices. That used to be 2. And then the Haven got all 5, and now the Haven gets all 6. So this is, I love seeing this. So the amenity choices, specialty dining, the shore excursions, the Wi-Fi package, friends and family. The reason we say friends and family is because it's not just children, it's 3rd and 4th. So that is a amenity offer with free at sea, and then the airfare. And for instance, I've noticed from the East Coast to Europe, huge savings with the free air program. And for instance, so for the Pride of America from San Francisco, free, it is actually free. From Los Angeles, it's free air. From Chicago, it's $5.59, which is, so you can see that it's we call it free air, but from certain gateways, it's not going to be free, but it is going to be a discounted rate that you can, if that's something your clients want to choose. This is a lot of information that you don't need, and I'll show you where to find it, but we do pour premium brands in regards to our beers, our gin, vodka, rum, the cordials, and the dining is lovely. For just to give you an example, if your guests did choose to eat in teppanyaki, I think the fee it was $15 when I sailed in the Norwegian Escape. If they chose to eat in the Cagney Steakhouse, it's a little more expensive. It's $25. Still lower than you'll find on our competitors, but it's a great option if they want to try some different dining options. The Wi-Fi, of course, it's 250 free minutes, and then friends and family sail free. So, and then the Q&A. And I sent this over to Maggie, and you may have received it or you will be receiving it in your email. But it's also available. I wanted to show you on, I don't want to leave, on the Norwegian Central site. And that's what I wanted to, let me move this over here, just show you. So here we go. Let's see. Norwegian Central, travel agent. Here we go. So this is, obviously, you book a lot of different cruise lines. You book, I don't know how you guys do it. You have to remember a whole lot of information. So I just wanted to show you a couple of things that I use when I go on to Norwegian Central. One of them is, let's see here. Okay, so one of them is actually up here. I'm going to try and move this over a little bit. Here we go. One of them is called NCL Help. It's right up here in the upper right-hand corner. And when you click on NCL Help, it's just, we don't keep you on hold forever and a day, but there are times in the seasons that are busier than others. And if you have a quick question in regards to what's the square footage of the Haven suite, or let's see, is free at sea combinable with groups? Do you do weddings on board? My guests booked a week ago and now the price has lowered. Any of these questions can come up under here in NCL Help. It's a beautiful place. It's used by our inside team probably daily, and I use it often as well. The other place I wanted you to see is, this is probably here, Marketing Headquarters, my favorite resource. Don't forget, though, like deck plans, additional cruise tour information, or itineraries, that can all be found under Norwegian Cruise Line University, NCLU. And if none of you have done NCLU, I strongly suggest doing this. It's a very user-friendly program. They revamped this in 2016. If you know your destinations, you will breeze through it. There's PDFs you can pull up in it. And the higher, it's like a college, the way that they have designed this. But you earn anywhere from your associate degree, and if you earn your PhD, you actually you are awarded a cruise for 2. So once you hit your masters, if you sell 5 staterooms with us, you get a free cruise for 2. But also as a student of NCLU, the reduced rate information gets richer and richer as you go. So that's something I wanted to bring to your attention. I just clicked on order brochures, and the reason being is we have our Cruise Atlas, which has a little bit of everything that has been on back order forever and ever. And we have finally got some goodies in here for you to find. This is our Alaska Selling Guide, which shows every itinerary for the Norwegian Joy and the Norwegian Bliss. This piece is my favorite, the itinerary guide. I've been waiting for this for months. It's all of our itineraries in one piece and the ships. So what this does not include is the deck plans for each ship. It's a smaller piece. It's a much lighter piece. So that's where you can find that. Norwegian Bliss, this brochure was it still is, in my opinion, a little bit of a fluff piece because it used to have artist renderings of what the ship would look like, but it now includes actual, it does have the deck plan, it shows the ship, and that information. This, I'm glad we came back with this. You may be familiar with it. It's an odd-sized brochure, deck by deck, and basically it is a brochure of deck plans that you may not have to use a magnifying glass in order to see the staterooms. I like this brochure, and I think you will too if you are familiar with it. It does fit into a file cabinet, but it does stick out a little bit. But it is a wealth of information. We also have the smaller, just like the Alaska Selling Guide, we have the Cuba Selling Guide. It's just a lighter, it's almost like a trifold, very light piece. Caribbean Selling Guide. Well, this is brand new, the European Selling Guide. Hawaii, it looks almost the same, but we now use the Hilton Hawaiian Village as opposed to the Marriott in Honolulu for pre or post. And so this has been updated as well. And just so you know, for Hawaii, that itinerary is so very popular. This ship, usually people book it over and over and over again. We even have locals that sail on Pride of America. Her price points have been very high, and group space has been difficult to get because we only have one ship there and she stands alone. I have, because of probably the volcano and the hurricane, we've been working with the Hawaii Tourism Board, and I have seen resident specials on the Pride of America. I've seen some unbelievable rates through January and February on this ship. And Mo told me, you haven't seen that for 7 years. So don't forget about Pride of America. She's a winner, and just a very, it's a pride of, that aloha spirit is just, they do such a wonderful job, the crew on board, and Kai, our hotel manager. This is just our Norwegian Selling Guide. This is this is a trifold that you might put a flyer into or whatever. And then the Cruise Atlas, the big one that does include the deck plans, that will be here in, we used to get pilot speak. They would say shortly or soon. And now, from what I understand, it will be here on or before Christmas. So any day now, I've been checking that. But I just wanted to point that out to you. And then the other thing that I like very much and this is the last thing I'll show you, in Norwegian Central it comes up right away under marketing headquarters. And here we go. And it says download Sales Pal. And let's see here, right here. And what this is, the Sales Pal is every single ship in our fleet in alphabetical order, with the lead inside, outside, and balcony and suite and haven prices. This is it right here. So you can see it starts with the Norwegian Bliss, and then it also has color codes for how the group space looks. So it'll show you here. You got to swing over a little bit. But if you see green next to a cruise, group space is wide open. Blue, you can book up to 49 new cabins. Yellow, it's getting very, very close to, or actually orange. Yeah, yellow, it's getting close. Orange, we're not accepting any new groups. So you could sort of see how the Bliss is doing in regards to groups at the beginning of the season. I'll go back to, she's in Caribbean, and she's just as popular in the Caribbean right now as she is in as she has been in Alaska. Mexican Riviera for April, just to roll over there, you can see that the rates, and there's a lot of information here. I don't expect you to understand it all. It's a little confusing, but you can see that it's Mexican Riv has very good space, and that goes for the Joy as well. So the Bliss, it goes all the way down to the Breakaway. You can speed this process up. I wanted just to compare one Bliss price, so like a high season Alaska, just to show you what I was talking about. So let's look at the Norwegian Bliss. Let's do high season, August 18. What this tells me is the lead rate right now is 1949, and that is there's a rate 1369, which is probably an inside guarantee. Oh, it is. So it is, this IC is this price. This OB is then this price. So the ocean views are $19.99, and the suites are $26.29, $22.29 on the Norwegian Bliss for Alaska on the August 18th. I'm going to jet all the way down here to the Joy and just do a little price comparison because, as I said, so Norwegian Joy, round trip Seattle, August 17, she has a lead special of $19.79. And then, $12.99. So it's about $100 or $75 price difference there. $19.79 on the Ocean View, etc. And as you can see, her group space is wide open. And for our groups, all you need to book is 5 cabins. 1 for 10 we pay on the tour conductor, which is, I think it's the best in the industry, if I'm not mistaken. It's an excellent program. So those are the NCL Help, the Sales Pal. Oh, the one thing I wanted to, and forgive me, the main thing are these little tabs at the bottom when you open up this document. Promotional Sales Pal is exactly the same thing. It just shows you the latest deals. And it's not going to, here we go. But it's specific, but you can also find those on the Sales Pal. So my favorite part of this is these tabs here on the bottom. And I love this one because what I'm doing is asking, what is the, by hitting the singles tab, is what are all of the departure dates that are not, I'm going to get out of here so I can show it to you in my email. The departure dates that are, hang on a sec here, sales, here we go, that are not 200% for a single traveler. As you know, on our newer ships, we have the solo staterooms, which are extremely popular. But when I hit that singles tab, as you can see, and they're not all close in. Here's the Bliss in April, 150% for a single traveler in a double cabin. Here is, well, this is 2 days from now. Let's see if this is the Breakaway from New Orleans, and it's literally 100%. Let's see if we can find 100%, a little, not that close in, but it's, here we go. December 16th, Norwegian Dawn is offering 100% single supplement for a 7-day Southern Caribbean cruise. And the categories are over here. It's usually an inside guarantee or a balcony guarantee or an ocean view guarantee. Lead-in rates, when you pop on that, it's a little, that's what I was showing you earlier. I don't know if you find it easier to read or harder. It's something that you need to sort of play around with. And then it shows you, for instance, what I was talking about, the tactical rates we have going on right now for Pride of America. So here is New Year's Eve. We still have resident rates available on interior, ocean view, and balcony staterooms. Curious, it's not going to show us the groups, but that is that's amazing. Obviously, we need some assistance there. For the first time in a long time, we have good space and good pricing on that particular vessel, which is awesome. I think that's everything that I wanted to mention and talk about today. And